Hello there, Valpo. I'm Katie Blaze. Welcome to a special VUTV and WVUR Student Senate exclusive. I'm joined today by President Alex Uriga and Trace Ostergren. Guys, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
We're just going to start off the shield today by talking about the platform for each of you. So Alex, why don't you start off by telling us about your platform for this year?
Alrighty, well, my name is Alex Uriga. I'm currently the student body president here at Valparaiso University, and my platform is really about the experiences that I've had on Student Senate, as well as the expertise that I have with Student Senate. I've been the chair of the executive committee for the past basically year now. And the past 2 years, I was an at-large senator and also a freshman senator. So I've been on Senate for 3 years, and really I poured my heart and soul into this organization by being, the chair of the Finance Committee, different chairs such as the Committee on Residents, and really just being involved, getting my name out there, and making sure that students' voices are heard.
Okay, great. Trace, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your platform?
I'll elaborate on platform, which we do have, and so myself, what I like to do next year as vice president of the student body is I want to change the election system. I want to eliminate biased budgeting from the process in Student Senate. I want to help and reach out to our international student population and help them with their host family issues that they have with American families in our community. Also, I want to consult with dining services and help them bring in a plethora of items that all of our student body would like. And I want to help with the ROTC students and help them get early registration.
Okay. Talk to me about the biased voting that you were talking about in Student Senate, how you would like to change that.
Biased budgeting.
Biased budgeting, I'm sorry.
How I'd like to change that is I want to hold some organizations, at least the top 10 that take the most amount of money from the Student Senate budget, hold them accountable on a performance level, and make them show maybe on a quarterly basis how they're developing. Are they bringing in money? Are they losing money? Are they bringing in more members? Are they losing members? That will then give us a very good understanding of if we should give them more money or if we should allocate them less money.
Okay. And then what about with the international students and their host families?
The international students, well, I'm really well known amongst the international students on this campus, mainly the Chinese population. Due to my 3 years experience in China, I speak Chinese. They all know me very well. And they voice their opinions with me and suggestions because they don't always have that contact in student government. And so I might act as that rep for them. And so they've told me that a lot of their peers, they'll utilize what's called a homestay program that Valpo offers. And so a student can register and live with an American family in the area. Maybe they might have a son or daughter as well, and they stay there for a few months. And the family will cook them dinner, take them to school, take them home, and it's a really nice setup. I myself actually lived in a host family for 1 year in Beijing, China. And I know exactly what it takes to build a nice host family system, one that's suitable for the family as well as the student.
Okay. Next question, guys. What do you think is one of the biggest problems that Valparaiso University is facing right now for students or anything else in general, and how we can change that, or how you guys plan to change it? Alex, why don't you start off?
Alrighty, well, I definitely think one of the biggest concerns that students have been facing over the past few years has been definitely the rising cost of tuition. And as student body president, I've been trying to work with President Heckler in at least kind of opening dialogue, conversation on that issue to try to make sure that is there any way that we can keep the cost of tuition down for students, because that's definitely students are here. And that's why they're here. They're here to learn. But if the tuition keeps on being raised, that may be very difficult for them to stay here. So I think definitely just continually working with President Heckler on this issue, as well as some other issues that students have been facing.
What kinds of conversations have you had with President Heckler regarding the state of how high the tuition is?
Yes, definitely. by being the president of the student body this summer, I went to a strategic planning retreat, which was held off campus, but close to Valparaiso, Indiana. And I definitely talked to him about, if the tuition were raised to, let's say, $50,000, I myself probably wouldn't be able to go to Valparaiso University. And that's a big concern because I love Valparaiso University. I've had so many great experiences here, especially with being involved in Student Senate for 3 years. I mean, it just breaks my heart when last year I heard students such as one member from APO who said during a meeting that I'm sorry guys, but I can't attend VU anymore, and that just kind of breaks my heart because she wants to be here, but she can't.
Mm-hmm. Trace, what about you? What do you think is the biggest problem or challenge that VU faces right now?
There are a few challenges. There's some that are very reasonable in terms of being able to accomplish them. I would say playing with tuition, the tuition price of our university is something very far out of your reach as well as a student. You're looking at an economic issue that encompasses the entire country. If you want to tackle that issue, you better be the Vice President of the United States, not the Vice President of Valparaiso University. In addition, so my focus is on tasks that we can actually accomplish within a given year, stuff that will have an impact on our student body. And so in order to help myself develop and be able to do that, I've attended events and even conferences and such. 2 falls ago, I represented Valparaiso University on a trip to Taipei, Taiwan through Harvard University. I was the only student from the state of Indiana there attending. There was a small cohort of Americans. Most of the individuals were from Eastern Asia, Western Europe, and I was there on a panel for entrepreneurship. I would like to bring in my entrepreneurial thinking to this campus, empower students to think like an entrepreneur, and it will not just help them if they want to go down a route to be an entrepreneur, but it will also help them in their further career to think like one and to progress and develop themselves.
What kinds of ideas do you have for implementing that entrepreneurship mentality for students?
One indirect relation to that would be a business plan competition. A lot of universities have that. NYU has a very notable business plan competition. I think Valparaiso could really benefit from one. We can start large scale, develop it, small prizes in the beginning, larger prizes in the end. And that's something that I think would take on very quickly here at Valparaiso University.
Okay. Trace, I know that you have mentioned, and I've heard from other people, that you want to focus on working more with founders. What can you tell us about that?
In fact, I just had a meeting this morning with the director of dining services, John Reed, a very nice guy. And I had this idea but I don't want to tell you too much about it, a little bit secret now, but I have an idea to bring in another product into dining services. And I've been very ambitious with it the past few months, even before I even considered running for vice president of Valparaiso University. And so I pointed my concern to him, sent him an email, we set up a meeting. He's very welcoming, and he thought my idea was quite well too. And so we're moving forward with it. He's going to get back in touch with me within a week or so.
You can't give us any hints as to what that might be right now?
I don't want to give you too much info, but it's a beverage.
It's a beverage?
Yes.
Okay. So we can be maybe hearing some more information about that next week?
Yes.
Possibly?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Alex, question for you, and before we go to break, why should the students vote for you? What makes you the most qualified candidate?
Well, the students should vote for me because I've dedicated my time and my life here at Valparaiso University to Student Senate. I've been on since the very beginning, since I came here to Valparaiso University. As a freshman senator, I was the chair of the Committee on Residence. In my sophomore year, I was an at-large senator representing the student body at large. And while I was doing that, I was the chair of the Finance Committee. I was the chair of the Residence Committee. I was chair of the Vusa Committee. I've been on University Council, the Committee on Intercollegiate Athletics, the Committee on, Campus Community Policy. I've been on, so many committees and really have a vast knowledge of Student Senate and its internal workings, which really the vice presidential position is all about. As the Constitution says, the vice president of the student body shall, subject to the authority of the president of the student body, be responsible for the internal operations of the student senate. So with my background as being in student senate for 3 years, I have such a vast knowledge, experience, and expertise, if you want to call it, which is my platform, that really makes me qualified for the job. And I just hope and pray that the students of Valparaiso University will vote for me on April 1st, 2014, given my vast credentials.
Okay, great. Thanks, Alex. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned as we come back to talk more about elections and Student Senate here with Trace Ostergren and Alex Uriga. Stay tuned here on VUTV and WVUR. We'll be right back.
Interested in the television industry? Stop by our office in Schnabel Hall and join VUTV today.
On a campus plagued with terrible weather, Valpo students suffer from boredom with no motivation to leave their room. They begin to search for free movies and stumble upon Valpo's new free movie streaming website, where you get unlimited free access to recent movies like Despicable Me 2 and Jobs at the tips of your fingers. So if you're feeling bored, then don't wait. Grab some friends, find a seat, and enjoy a movie on movies.valpo.edu.
Hi everybody, I'm Dick Vitale of ESPN, and I'm on VUTV. It's awesome, baby, with a capital A.
Welcome back to a VUTV and WVUR Student Senate exclusive. In case you weren't with us before the break, I'm joined today with Trace Ostergren and current president Alex Uriga. Guys, before the break, we were talking about what makes you the most qualified candidate. Alex, you gave us your statement. Trace, what makes you the most qualified candidate, and why should students vote for you?
I bring in a lot of qualities, not just leadership, but my business acumen, as well as my experiences. And to the extent of how well I'm known on campus through various organizations and demographics. I represent the university through athletics. I run track and field, indoor and outdoor track. I run cross country. So basically I run 12 months out of the year representing Valparaiso University both on campus and off of campus in different states and literally around the world. I spent my last semester through Valpo's study abroad program in Hangzhou, China, and has spent an additional 2+ years there as well. And I was able to take part into a really extensive leadership program prior to Valpo. I attended a military academy, and the focus was on leadership. I was responsible for, at any given time, 20 other individuals, both their academic bearing and their military and just their personal character. What if they were to mess up, they would reflect upon me. And so I had to lead them throughout the year and their career through high school.
So you'd say through all these experiences, you know, a wide variety of them, it makes you more relatable to a lot of the students here at VU?
Yes, and although I might not have chaired any organizations or committees, however, a lot of the individuals that are in charge of those organizations or committees, they are my friends. They know me. I'm interested in the organization. I ask them questions about their organization, how it functions, and they give me answers. So I know a lot of how it goes. I might not be in the limelight, but believe me, I know how it functions.
Okay, thanks, Trace. Next question, guys. We'll start with you, Alex. What sets you apart from your opponent?
What sets me apart is, again, even as Trace alluded to, was the fact that he doesn't have the student senate experience that I have, which is not only crucial but also imperative that the vice president of the student body should have. I mean, just given my vast background within student senate, by being the chairs of the committees and by also being president of the student body, with close ties with Trevor Richardson, who's the vice president, I've definitely learned a lot by doing all those things. And even though Trey says he might have learned from his friends, there's still a lot more that goes on inside student senate that people may not hear about, but is still important to the internal workings and functions of student senate. So, I mean, just him not being on student senate just raises some concerns for me, as well as the fact that he said that the tuition issue is very far out of your reach as a student. But if I can quote the preamble of our Constitution of the Valparaiso University Student Senate, it says, "We, the students of Valparaiso University, in order to provide a place to discuss issues and have a means to take action on these issues in a positive, effective fashion, do hereby adopt this, the Constitution of the Valparaiso University Student Senate, as a means and tools for governance." And I just think that, tuition is one of the biggest issues on campus that students are facing. And I think that, even though we may not make much headway on such an issue, it still needs to be brought up, and we still have to try our best to, make a change. And I think that's, what sets me apart from my opponent. And, I know he says that he talks about, leadership experiences and whatnot, but I just wish he would give some maybe more specifics on those things. And, I mean, I wish he was on Student Senate. I wish he was on Student Senate for the past 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. I mean, he sounds like a great guy. I just don't understand why he hasn't been on Student Senate until now.
Trace, you want to follow up? What sets you apart from your opponent?
It seems like, Alex, your core debate is lying on the lack of my experience in Student Senate. Is that correct?
Yes.
The core of your debate, your argument with me, is standing on my lack of experience in Student Senate. Well, here I'm here to question. I'm here to reply to that. And Student Senate is an organization that is responsible and oversees over the student organizations on campus, correct?
Yes.
Dozens of organizations, and allocates money to them. Even looks over VUTV, right?
Yes.
And then when you mention that you want to go after an issue such as our school's tuition, that doesn't reflect upon you that you're really going after the core mission of Student Senate, which is to develop relationships and develop these organizations on campus, such as VISA, UPC, VUTV, the Torch. These are the institutions, the organizations that you want to be focusing on. These are the institutional organizations that I have reached out to already, have been in contact with. They know I'm in it for them, to represent them, to help them, to improve them, to develop them. That's what I'm here for. They've already recognized that 2 years, 3 years of student senate experience for me wouldn't have done anything, because they know there's individuals in student senate that have been there for 1 year or 2 years that right now it wouldn't have made a difference if they had just got on student senate.
Trace, you've had a little bit of a different experience with this whole election process, just because you haven't been involved in Student Senate as long. What can you tell us about your status as far as the elections go?
Okay. Recently I was accused of an issue which I appealed immediately, and I had my hearing this morning at 11 o'clock, and then they voted. There's a unanimous decision that I would be able to continue campaigning and running for student body vice president. Thus is why I'm here today. So right now, as it stands, I am running and will be on the ballot April 1st, next Tuesday.
Okay. And Alex, just to confirm, we are still having elections next Tuesday, April 1st.
Yes,
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Next question for you guys. I know we talked a little bit about this before the break, what you guys think the number one problem on campus is right now. What is one issue that each of you wants to identify and you want to focus on during your term if you do win your position?
Well, I know I talked about the tuition issue, but I also would like to bring up the issue of senators and their constituency reports. I definitely would like to work with them, sit down and have meetings with them as the vice president of the student body to make sure that they're contacting their constituencies and that they're fulfilling their role as a student senator.
Okay. Trace, what about you?
It's hard to pinpoint a single issue that I want to go after. But I want to lump them together. So I mentioned dining services, eliminate biased budgeting, create a new election system which is online based, which will include everyone, those abroad and domestic in our university. Involve everybody, which I think is key for a student senate to truly represent their students.
Have you had any discussions with President Heckler or any other heads of the university about these changes that you want to implement as far as the online election process?
With President Heckler himself, no. With other faculty members, yes, I have. And as I mentioned earlier, I've already started with goals and objectives that I want to reach next year. I've already started with them. One, for example, this morning with dining services.
Great. And Alex, what about you? Have you been in contact with President Heckler or any other heads of the university to present your plans for next year?
Most definitely. I mean, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, myself as well as other Student Senate members went to President Heckler's house for a Student Senate reception, which has never happened before. It hasn't happened since I've been here, so that was really something special, and to talk to him was really great. So I mean, just to keep talking with him and continuing dialogue with President Heckler, as well as bringing some of the student senators in, I think it would be one of my pivotal tasks if elected student body vice president.
Okay. For those people that didn't join us during the first half of this, could we go over again just what your platform is exactly, just to reiterate everything that you guys wanted to
Well,
hear?
if you're just joining us, my name is Trace Ostergren. I'm running for your student body vice president. So my platform, what I'm running on, what I really want to implement next year and reach as my goals and objectives, number one would be a new election system, and number two would be eliminate biased budgeting in the student senate budgeting process. Second, I want to really get in touch with dining services in terms of a consultation route. Second to that, I want to help with the ROTC students on campus, help them get early registration, because right now they don't have that. In addition to that, I want to reach out to our international students, our international community. It's a very large population on our campus. And not just the Chinese students, I'm talking about the Saudi Arabian students, I'm talking Latin America, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, and reach out to them. How am I going to help them? Well, I'm going to help them with their host family situations. These students come to our community, they live with local American host families. And the process right now is not very suitable for them. So I'm going to help them change that so they're given appropriate and well-off families so they can have a very fulfilling experience when they're here visiting the United States of America and not just Valparaiso.
Great. Alex, do you want to reiterate your platform for everybody?
Definitely. My platform is continuing the many experiences that I've had on Student Senate, as well as the special expertise that I have in Student Senate. I've been the chair of multiple committees, like the Executive Committee, which I am on now. I've been the chair of the Finance Committee and the chair of the Residence Committee. I've been on University Council, on several committees with that. I really have that deep, vast knowledge of, what does everyone do? And I want to make sure that, with student senators, I want to make sure that they're fulfilling their role as a student senator and being, passionate about what they've been doing. I mean, this past year on the President's Day on February 17th, 2014, I was given a 100% approval rating. I asked the question, do you approve or disapprove of the way Alexander Riga is handling his job as president? And 100% of the senators gave me that approval rating. So that was something really meaningful to me and really reflects on the kind of job I am doing, as well as the fact that I probably do a wonderful job, a tremendous job as a vice president of the student body. I mean, they've given me terms such as I'm enthusiastic, passionate, fair, fun, good leader, determined, awesome, animated, caring, busy, motivated, and energetic. And I just want to continue those relationships that I've established over the past year with many of the people that I've met on Student Senate, who have actually, a lot of them have become my friends because of this organization. And I would just be blessed if you voted for me on April 1st, 2014 for student body vice president.
Okay. We're going to be going to break here in just a few minutes, guys. Alex, you mentioned passion in what you just said now. If you guys could just both give a small statement. Why are you passionate about becoming vice president of Student Senate here at Valparaiso University? And just short and sweet.
Yeah, definitely. I have so much passion for this organization. I'd hate to say this, but I haven't been in a relationship with anyone for the past 3 years, but that's not entirely true, because I have been in a relationship with Student Senate. I mean, seriously, I poured my heart and soul into this organization, and I would just be truly devastated if I couldn't be a part of it next year, honest to God.
Okay. Trace?
Well, Alex here, he might have a passion for the organization. However, I have a passion for the student body, for the whole university. I'm going to take my leadership, I'm going to take my experiences, I'm going to take my passion, my ambition, my initiative, and pour it into the student body, not just the Student Senate. The Student Senate oversees the student body. The focus is on the student body, on the university as a whole. That's where I'm directing my focus and my passion.
Okay. Well, guys, I can't thank you enough for both joining us today here on VUTV and WVUR. There's been a lot of great information presented from both candidates, and it's going to be interesting to see how the election goes next Tuesday and how the student body of VU speaks. So thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
If you'd like to catch this again, tune in to VUTV. It'll be up on youtube.com/ValpoVUTV. It's also going to air on Channel 82 on Monday, March 31st. You can also check on WVUR's website and hear what happened here today as well. For Trace and Alex and everyone here at VUTV and WVUR, I'm Katie Blaze. Thanks for joining us today.